Just a moment.
Okay, so very good morning, all of you.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning, sir.
All right. Uh, okay, so let me share my screen. Yes. So is my screen visible to all?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, great. So in last session, we are discussing about the HTML, and at last we are exploring the HTML forms. And let's begin from there only. Uh, Let me open that web page, that is web.html. I hope you guys have implemented all of these things which we have explored. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Yes.
sir.
Okay,
Yes,
great.
sir.
Okay, so now we are good to go with the form. Okay, so in last session, we have seen this input type equal to text, input type equal to password, and input type equal to email, right? So now let's see that we are going to take gender input from a user. So what will be the best way to take to take gender as input? What we can do? Shall we use input type equal to text, and we will take the string value as MALE, which will be typed by user. Is it the correct way to take
No,
No,
gender,
sir.
sir.
No, sir.
right? So for this concept, we are going to use the radio button, right? So how we are going to display that radio button? By type equal to radio, and just look at the output. What is going to be displayed in terms of input type equal to radio? So here you can see. Let me zoom the screen. Yeah. So here you can see we have got this radio button which user can select, right? So this is the radio button, and just in front of this radio button we want the text to be displayed, like for which option this radio button is being displayed. So I would like to write a value that is male, right? So this radio button belongs to male. If someone is male, then he is going to select this option. And in the same way, we are going to display one more radio button, that would be for female. So input type equal to radio, and this option will be for female. So we are just writing this value so that user can view that this radio button belongs to which gender. So now let's refresh it, and you are able to see that we are having two radio buttons here. One is for the male and one is for the female. Now, what should happen here? Now, if suppose someone is going to select any gender, only one radio button should be selected. Yes or no?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Yes, only one radio button should be selected. Now, suppose if someone is selecting this male option, right? Now, in the next step, if someone is selecting female, then what would be the expected behavior here?
Male button will
Will
be
change.
Yeah,
The
male should
selection
be
will change.
deselected, right?
Replace it.
Now, I'm going to select this female option. Now you can see both options are selected,
Yes.
right? So now we have to remove this bug, right? What's the bug here? That if you are going to create the multiple radio buttons, then by default all of them can be selected, right? We want to avoid this functionality, and we want that from multiple radio buttons only single selection should be there. So what will be the solution? So the solution is very simple. We are going to use an attribute that is a name. So this name attribute is doing what? So this name attribute will identify any input field uniquely, right? So we are going to write the name as, for example, gender. You can give any name of your choice, but what's the catch here? We have to give all the radio buttons the same name. If first radio button's name is gender, then we have to give the second radio button's name also gender. So from the same name of radio buttons, we can select only a single radio button. So whenever there are multiple radio buttons, and if you guys want that only single radio button must be selected, then in that case, just give the same name to every radio button. So I'm having two radio buttons, one for male and one for female, and I have given the same name, right? I have given the first radio button name as gender, and the second radio button's name is also gender. Now just try to see the change. Now again, I'm going to select this first option. So you can see male is selected. Now when second option will be selected, so you can see first option is deselected by itself, right? So this is the implementation of the name attribute. So later on, we are going to use the name for different purposes also. But as of now, if you want to give any unique identification to your input tag, then we are going to use this name attribute. Okay. So the name attribute must have to be the same for all the radio buttons if you want to select a single radio button only. But suppose if you are having implementation like this, you are having multiple radio buttons and user can select multiple options, then we don't have to implement this name functionality, right? But as of now, we want multiple radio buttons and only single can be selected. So for that reason, we have given the same name. Okay. So all of you understood this?
yes, sir.
Okay, great.
Sir, can you zoom out a little bit because it
Yeah,
is too
yeah.
much, too much big. Minutes.
Is it okay now?
Yes, yes. Okay.
Okay. Okay, so let's move further. And now I want to take date input from a user. So what should be the best way to take a date input?
Input type date.
Yes. So we can display some month list and
Month,
date list
years.
and years list, right? So we are going to display one calendar component so that user can pick a date, right, from a calendar itself. So how this is going to be implemented? So we just have to write input type equal to date. And for this input type equal to date, the placeholder is not going to work. Okay. So I have just written this input type equal to date, and let's see what it is going to display. So you can see we are having this date format written over here, and this is the date picker. And when I'm used to click this, then you can see we are having this calendar component, and you can pick any date of your choice. Let's say I'm selecting this 5th October, and then you can see the date is being selected here. And although you can change its appearance or its functionality, if you want to change its appearance, then you can go with CSS. And if you want your own calendar component to be displayed here, then you have to go with the JavaScript. Okay. So this is the way we are going to take date input from any user. Okay. So now I want to take the graduation input from user. So instead of typing the graduation value, we will give user some choices. I
Yes, yes.
hope you all of are familiar with the drop down. Have you seen that?
Yes, yes.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Obviously, we have
Yes, sir.
seen that for in any website, whenever we are selecting any country, any state, or any city, we are having that drop down component. So for that drop down component, we are going to use this select tag. So the select tag is going to display a drop down for you, and that drop down will be having multiple options. So for creating any option, we are going to use this option tag. Okay. So if suppose we are about to give 5 options, then we have to create 5 option tags here. So first option which I'm displaying, that is for BSc, and the second option which is I'm displaying is for BE, and as many option you want, you can give multiple option tags here. And let's say one option I'm giving, that is for D Tech, and one option I'm giving, let's say for M Tech, and one more option is there, let's say I'm giving MBA, right? So these are the few options which I want to display on my drop down. Okay, so that's why I have created this select tag, and inside this select tag I'm having option tags. So suppose if you are having 100 options, then you have to give this option tag 100 times. So now let's refresh it. So you can see at the bottom of the screen, we are having this drop down. So let me erase these paragraphs and headings. Yeah. Where is it to? Yes.
Sir, may I interrupt you once again? We can hide this control panel of Zoom by hiding, yeah, by selecting more. No, go to the more options. Yes, and hide floating meeting controls.
Okay.
Yes.
Thanks a lot.
Uh,
Okay. Okay, so now let's refresh this web page. Uh, where is this comment being written here? Yeah, we are having this comment. Hmm. Okay, so we are having this drop down. So you can see this drop down is having the few options like this. Okay. So this is the implementation of this drop down element. Okay, so now let's move further and let's see that how we are going to take the time input from the user. Okay, so whenever there is a requirement to take value of time as input, so for that purpose, we are going to use type equal to time. Okay, so now let's see that what exactly is the looks and feels of this component. So you are able to see a clock component, and from this clock component, you can give any time value input, right? Let's say I'm about to give the time value input as let's say 9 and 50. So you can see the time value written is here. Okay. So this is how we are going to take the date input like type equal to date, and for the time we are going to use type equal to time.
And sir, AM PM for AM PM.
Yes, yes. Yeah, for AM or PM component, so you have to go with some extra configurations in the JavaScript. Okay, so when we are exploring the JavaScript, we will make this time type equal to time, which will be able to display you a clock like this. For example, let me show you some images for it. So whenever we are supposed to take time input, then we are going to use some time picker components, right? Let me show you a few examples of it. In any real-time application, we are going to use such kind of component just to take time input so that this is going to increase the user experience, right? So user is not supposed to select the time by just typing the value. So your user can also be able to view a clock, and from that clock, he or she can choose the time. Right? We are definitely going to implement that functionality also. Okay.
So please, so,
Yes.
I was using submit button yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
I was not able to link that to Amazon website. So I wanted to redirect to the Amazon website through that submit button. So how can we do that?
Yes, we will see that when we are exploring that submit button, there is one attribute of the form tag, that is action. So on action attribute, you can pass any URL on which you want to submit your form. So if you want to
Okay.
submit your form to Amazon, then you can write. But right now we are not able to submit our data to Amazon because we are not having control of Amazon server. But you can do one thing, you can write the URL of that
Yes, yes.
Amazon application.
Can redirect to that website.
Yes, it will only redirect. Right. Okay. Now I want to take address input from user. So that address may contain multiple lines. So you all of have implemented that functionality in that Facebook or Flipkart. Like whenever you are writing your let's say any post description, or you are writing any comment on that Facebook post, so we can write multiple lines here, right? So you have seen that functionality in various websites. Suppose you are writing some review that may contain multiple lines. So you are just directly pressing enter and you are able to write multiple lines. So for that purpose, uh, can we use input type equal to text to write multiple lines?
No,
Yes or
I
no?
think
No.
No, sir.
Right. We are not able to use this type equal to text. How? Just see this. I'm writing this hello world, and when I'm trying to press the enter, it is not changing any line. So this
yes.
input type equal to text will only be used for a single line input. But if you want to take multiple lines input, like suppose you are taking any message, you are
Address,
taking
address.
input any address or any review or any comment, then for that purpose, we will use multiple line input. So in that case, we are going to use this text area component. So here you can use this placeholder, and I'm writing the placeholder as enter your address. Like I'm just simply keeping it as address. Now just refresh it. So you are able to see one text area component. And whenever you write any data here, you can press enter so that you can write you can write some new lines also, right? So this is how we are going to use this text area. But you can also increase the size of text area either by HTML or by CSS. If you are going to increase the size by using HTML only, then you will be getting these two attributes. One is the rows and one is calls. Okay, so this rows attribute is going to increase this size of text area vertically, and the calls is going to increase the size horizontally, right? So I'm going to increase the number of columns. For example, I have written the number of columns as 10, and I'm going to increase the number of columns as, for example, 5. So there will be 5 rows, and there will be 5. So there are 10 rows and 5 columns. So let me refresh it for you. So you can see we have increased its size vertically using these rows. So whenever you are going to increase the rows, so number of rows are going to be increased. And let's say I want to expand it horizontally. So we have to increase the number of columns. So let's say I have increased the number of columns to 10. So each row will be having 10 columns. So definitely this is going to expand horizontally. Okay, so you can see we are having 10 columns as of now. And if suppose you want to increase some more number of columns, let's say I have given the 20. So it will expand further, right? So this is how your text area is going to look. Yeah. So all of you understood this?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Right. So at last,
Hello, hello, hello.
Hello.
Network
सर का गए सर का गया
हेलो
हेलो हेलो
हेलो
Yes, yes, yes.
Yes, sir, yes, sir.
अच्छा
sorry for the network interruption.
ओके
सर एक डाउट था मुझे
हाँ हाँ बोलो.
हम जब नेम एंटर करते हैं ना तो वहाँ पे एक एरर लाइन क्यों शो करता है अब जब बाहर आते हैं हम
कहाँ पे?
ऊपर हाँ एंटर योर नेम अगर हमने 2 नेम डाले स्पेस देके हाँ वो एरर
वो जस्ट एक स्पेल चेक है आपके ब्राउजर, वो स्पेल चेक कर रहा है.
ओके
डिक्शनरी में ऐसा वर्ड नहीं होता है
It's not a part of your form validation.
ओके
Okay. So in
Hello, sir.
any,
Hello. Hello.
yes, yes.
Sir, can we use these rows and column attributes in that input type
Input type
for name
which
for
component?
text
For
for
this
text?
input type
Yes.
text. So
Yes.
you can say if I'm going to write the rules, there is no attribute such defined for input tag. You
Okay.
can only use this for text area only. Okay.
Okay.
Okay, so in any registration form or any sign up form, you guys have uploaded your files also. Yes or no?
yes sir
Like
Yes,
some
sir.
details or some
Documentation.
resume or your any document. So I would like you guys to find out by searching internet that which component we are going to use for the file input. Okay, so all of you guys understood what's your task?
yes
Okay.
Come again. Sir, please repeat.
So the task here is in any registration form, you might have seen that you are uploading some files like images or some documents, audio, video. Yes or no?
Yes,
Have
yes,
you
yes.
seen that? Yes. So I would like you guys to explore internet that how we are going to take file input from user. So just like as we are taking date input, so we are writing input type equal to date, for time input time equal to time, for the text we are using input type equal to text. So I would like you guys to just find out that how we are going to take file input. And that's very important because in any real-time application, there may be a case where we are going to take file input from any user.
Type equal to file.
Actually, that is, yes, yes.
Yeah.
Actually, that is, no, in the input itself.
Yes.
In that
Yes, file.
Okay. So
Type equal to
that
file.
is type equal to 5. Right. Okay. So in any registration form, you have also seen one checkbox. You can check or uncheck that, and just in front of it, a message has been written like "I accept terms and conditions." Right. So just to implement that checkbox, again we are going to use this input type equal to checkbox. So this is going to create one square box for you so that you can check or uncheck it according to your need. And I'm just writing one text here that is I accept terms and conditions. So now we will be able to see a checkbox just below of the form, and user can check or uncheck it. And you can use this checkbox component for any real-time scenario. If suppose you are having a few choices, we are taking hobbies input from the user. So to take hobbies input, we can't use this drop down component because only one selection will be there, right? So either you have to go with the checkbox or you have to go with this radio button. But in general trend, whenever we want a single selection, we will use the radio button, and for multiple selection, we will use this checkbox. So user can check their options also.
So we would like to show a message also if checkbox, yeah, if it is not selected before submitting the, before going for submit button.
And my dear, that's the functionality of JavaScript, because the role of HTML is what? Only to display the content. But if you want to add some functionality, like if you want to check that checkbox is selected or not, then it's the logic you have to write. Then you can't write logic in HTML. You have to go with JavaScript.
Sir, means for calculation part also, we have to use JavaScript.
Yes, exactly.
Like sometimes we accept the marks and total marks, and there automatically percentage is calculated.
Exactly, exactly. It's the functionality of JavaScript only.
Okay, sir.
Yeah. Okay. So now let's explore that how we are going to display some buttons onto our web browser, right? So now in HTML, you are able to display 3 types of buttons. What are these 3 types of buttons are? So one will be your simple plain button. So one would be the plain button, and one is going to be the submit button, and one will be your reset button, right? So you can have these 3 buttons on your any web application. That may be your plain button, that may be your submit button, or it may be your reset button. So what will be the difference between these 3 buttons? So are you guys aware of these 3 types of buttons?
This plain button, we don't know. I don't know.
Okay.
Sorry.
So so first of all, let's try to explore this plain button. How we are going to create a simple plain button onto any web page. So for that purpose, we are going to use this input tag and just write its type as a button. So I have written the input type equal to button. So by default, this is going to display a simple plain button for you. And the functionality of this simple plain button will be not already defined, right? So this button, I would like to write a point here. So let me create one notes file. Okay, so we are having three types of buttons. So one is plain button, one will be your submit button, and one will be your reset button. So the most basic type of button is your plain button, whose functionality is not being already defined. It's the responsibility of the developer to define that what text we are going to display on this button and what will happen whenever user hits or whenever user clicks this plain button. So I would like to write a point here. The functionality of this button is not already defined. This is totally relying on the developer. Okay, so a developer will define that what will happen when user clicks it. Okay, so it's the responsibility of a developer to define that what is going to happen when someone clicks on this button, right? But rest of the buttons are having their own functionality, right? So whenever any user is going to hit submit button, the functionality is already defined. That what is going to happen, that is already defined. And same way, if some user is going to hit this reset button, then what is going to happen, that is also already defined. So this plain button is going to be totally relying on the developer. So it's the role of developer to define its functionality. And how that developer would define the functionality. So we need to write some JavaScript logic in order to define its functionality. Okay. So let me show you that how this is going to work. So I have written this type equal to button. So now I'm refreshing this web page. So you guys are able to see this button. So you can see this button is although we can click this button, this is a clickable component just like a button, but there is no text displayed on this. And when I'm clicking this button, nothing is happening. Okay, so it's totally the responsibility of a developer to write their own implementation for the button. So whatever be the value which has to be displayed on the button, and what will happen on the click event of this button is to be defined by developer only. Okay, so let me write what should be displayed on the this button. So we would like to use this attribute, that is value. So in this value attribute, you can give any value of your choice. Like I'm writing the value as click me. So the users will be able to see this text on the button. So now you can see that users are able to see this text, that is click me. And again, when someone is going to click this button, nothing is going to happen. Okay, so we have to define its functionality. Then how we are going to do this? So on this button, we are having one event, that is on click. So on click is what is an event of this button. Okay, so on this on click event, you can execute any JavaScript functionality, because again, HTML is not meant for the functionality kind of things. HTML is only meant to display display the elements on it, right? So let me show you one basic example. In we will see it later on also. I'm going to write this JavaScript code like alert, and I'm going to display a text like hello world onto this alert. Now just see what is going to happen. Now, if someone is going to click this button, so you guys are able to see this hello world onto this alert box. Okay, so I have written this JavaScript functionality for it. Okay, so have you guys understood this?
Yes, sir. Yes.
Okay, so as of now, I'm not writing this on click. We will explore it later on when we are having hands-on on JavaScript. Okay, so let me define one more button. that is the submit button. So I have already told you that only this plain button is totally relying on the developer. But what will happen on the click of submit button is already defined, and what is going to happen on the click of reset button, that also is already defined. Okay, so what will be the role of this submit button
To
by
submit,
reading its name?
to submit the
To
data.
submit the
Yes,
to submit the data.
yes, we have to apply our common sense also. If it is a submit button, then its functionality is to submit the form data, right? So its functionality is being already defined. Then how we are going to create the submit button? So just write type equal to submit. And let me refresh this web page, and you can see the text on this button is being already decided, that what should be the text on this button. And just try to see, and when any user will hit this submit button, what is going to happen. So I'm going to click this submit button, and now you can see something has happened. So what exactly will happen when you guys will click the submit button? It will try to submit your form, right? But where we are going to submit our form, we have seen that in last class we are having this form tag whose responsibility is to submit a form to the server, right? So this form tag has an attribute, that is action. So whenever the submit button is clicked, this action attribute comes into action, right? So this action attribute will contain the URL of your server. So whenever someone is submitting the form by just hitting this submit button, so on the form we are having this action attribute. So this action attribute will be executed. So whenever someone clicks on the submit button, the action attribute of your form is going to be executed. For example, just for a demonstration purpose, I'm writing the URL like http://www.google.com, just to have the implementation that whenever someone is going to click the submit button, so which thing is going to be executed? The form's action will be executed, and it will redirect the user to this given URL. But in our real-time case, whenever we are going to build our servers, we will give the URL of our server only. Okay, we will not redirect a user onto the Google or onto Amazon or Flipkart application, right? So whenever user clicks the submit button, this action is going to be executed. So let's see, is this happening or not? So let me again refresh this web page. Okay, so again, you are seeing this submit button, and now I'm going to hit this submit button. So you can see the form's action has been executed, and you are able to see this Google page. Okay, so all of you understood this?
Yes, sir. Now it is
Yes, sir.
acting like
Yes,
a
sir.
Yes, yes,
hyper.
what?
It is acting like a hyperlink right now.
It is, right? It is acting as a hyperlink, but this hyperlink is being executed on the click of the submit button.
Yes.
How this, sir? How this submit button able to find this functionality?
This functionality is being already written in HTML. You don't have to go into this low level implementation. Okay, for internal details, I must say this. This HTML is only a layer which you are working on. Internally, the JavaScript language is performing all the operations.
No, I was asking that we wrote that functionality form action at the top of our code. Okay, and we are defining it in line number 37. So how it will work? How it is working?
Yeah, because this type equal to submit is inside that same form only. You can see we have created this form tag and at line number 11, and we are closing this form at line number 39, and we have written this type equal to submit in line number 37, which is inside our form, and it's the functionality which is already defined in HTML, that if a form is going to contain one submit button, then form's action will be executed.
Okay.
So you can clearly notice the difference between type equal to button and type equal to submit. Yes or no? There is a difference or not?
Yes, sir.
Yes, there is a difference. When someone is going to click this type equal to button, nothing is going to be executed by default. Okay, we
And
have to
we
define it.
cannot, and we cannot add the functionality to that button also, right?
For which button? Submit?
No, that input button type button, simple button, plain button.
Yeah, we can add the functionality. Yes, we can add the functionality. So you can also use this type equal to button to submit your form. But in order to do that, you have to write your own logic, right? So by default, this type equal to button is going to do nothing. Okay. And you can observe one thing also. We are able to see a text on this submit button, that is submit. But
Yes, yes.
we can change this text also. How we can change this text? By just defining its value. You can write any value of your choice, like register, or you can write the value as a sign up. Okay. So let me refresh it. Okay, so you guys are able to see the text, which is sign up, and its functionality is again going to be the same. Okay, you don't have to think that we have changed its value, so we have to define its functionality. Is nothing like that. We have just only changed its value, but the functionality is going to be same because its type is submit. Now again, when I'm going to click this sign up, so you are able to see this Google page. Okay. So one more button is there. So let me write that point over for submit button. So it is used to submit the form data, and upon its click, the form's action is going to be executed. Okay, so this is the functionality which we are implementing with this submit button. Okay, now we are having one more button, that is the reset button. So by just reading its name, what we can expect from this button?
It resets the form.
Change, need to bring change. Clear all the
Clean up
data.
the form. Yes, yes.
Reset, yes, yes. It is going to remove all the values which are already inside your form. This means simply it is going to clear your form. Now, how we are going to implement these buttons? So, input type equal to reset. Now, I haven't given any value to this. So, you will be able to see a value that is already displayed on this button, that is reset. Now, suppose I have written some random values and some time value, and let's say I have this option selected, and let's say I have picked this date value. And now when I'm going to click this reset button, so you can see all the fields are been uh, cleared by this. Okay. So this is the default functionality of the reset button. If you need this functionality, you can give this button. Okay.
Sir, if we
So
add
can
this-
you repeat once again the reset button?
So
Yes, sir,
what
please.
we can expect from this reset? So reset simply is going to clear your form. So I have written any value like H123, and let's say I have given some time value input, and I have selected this MB option. By default, first option is BSc, and I have selected this MBA. And let's say I have selected this date. And what will happen on the click of this reset? What you are expecting by reading its name? Reset means what? This reset
It will
button,
erase all the data.
yes, erase
Clear
all.
all forms.
I must write a point that it is going to erase all the data in input fields.
Clear all
Yeah,
user input.
or we can say this is going to clear all the fields. So let me click this reset button. So you can see all the fields has been cleared by this type equal to reset. So all of you understood this reset button?
So if we add this reset button in between the fields,
In what?
not in between the fields, not at the end. So what
Yes.
will happen? All form will reset or
Yes, yes, this is going
upside?
to work. Yes, this is going to work.
Okay.
But in any real-time case, we will not
Yes, yes.
design a form like this. Like button is in between the. Okay, we
Abhi
are
sir,
not going-
whatever input we place inside that form body,
Uh-huh.
all will clear out.
Yes, yes. All the fields will be clear.
Means, sir, we can't use for specific any.
No, 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 no. You can't use. You have to write then your own functionality using this plain button.
Okay.
And you are
Sir,
supposed to- yes.
okay. Sir, can you explain that how we can switch between two web pages by selecting by adding that back button, back option? Yes,
By back option.
yes, yes.
Yes. So suppose just to go on any web page, you are giving any hyperlink. So let me create this anchor tag for you. And let's say if we are having some web page, like we are having some about page. So I'm writing visit about page. So we will give the href of our own web page. So let me create a page for you. That is about.html. So in this about.html, I'm going to write one h1 tag, that is hello world. Okay, so we can give its name like about.html, and this link will redirect the user to about.html only. Let me refresh this page. So now at the top we are having this link visit about page. Okay. So we are able to see this about page. Now you want a user to redirect it back to that web.html, right?
Yes, yes, yes.
Okay. So whenever you want to give any back functionality, so in the real-time case, what is going to happen? You have to maintain the history log into your application, that from which page the user has arrived onto this about. So you have to take reference of that previously opened page into the JavaScript logic, and you have to read that history into your logic, and upon the click of that back button, user will be redirected to the same page. But now, as of now, in HTML, you can only do one thing, that is below this h1 into this about page only. We can give this anchor tag, and I'm just writing one link as visit web.html, or you can say like go back, because just in HTML you can do this functionality, but you have to hard code this, like on which web page you want to redirect the user, right? But in any real-time case, we can't hard code this, like from which page user has arrived on the about. Maybe a user has arrived from contact page, maybe the user has arrived from the home page, or maybe from the services page, that may be any page. So in real time case, we will be implementing the history concept also, right? So for that purpose, the React.js and Angular framework are going to help us a lot. But as of now, if you want to do this, you can also do.
Switching between two links only.
Yes, switching between the two links. So like I'm writing the name of page as web.html. Right now, I'm writing the name of page, the hard-coded value, right? But in real-time application, we are not going to do this. Only you can see browser has also implemented this functionality. You can see browser has given us a back button, right? So whenever I'm going to click this back button, you can see hold. This is saying that hold to see history. It is internally going to use this history concept. So whenever I'm click this button, so you can see whenever I click this button, I'm back onto the same page. It is not redirecting me to that hard coded value. Suppose if I'm arriving from that contact page, then it will take me back to that same page only. So for that purpose, we need to read the history, right? But as of now, you're able to see that go back button. Now I'm clicking this button. It is again redirecting me to web.html. But if you are considering HTML for this, then you have to write the name of page hard coded onto your device. Okay. Is that clear?
Yes, sir.
Hello, sir.
Sir,
Yes.
What is that?
sir, there are some doubts in chat box. Please take that.
Well,
I
that
didn't get the
window,
go back thing.
can you just guide me that where I can open that?
Sir, press Control Alt H.
Control
Sorry, Alt H, only Alt H.
only alt. Okay.
Yes, sir.
What is the use of meta? Yes, we will see it later on. It's just to keep metadata of the web page. If we want to add preview button, what do you want to ask about this add preview button?
It is under plain button or it is a predefined button?
The plain button is a predefined button, but its functionality is not predefined. See, everything in HTML is predefined, but this plain buttons functionality is not being defined. So it's developer's role to define its functionality. Whatever you want to do on that button click, you have to define that onto your own.
It means if I want to add preview button, so I define that functionality in JavaScript.
Yes. What kind of preview you want to display? Can you please?
Form preview. Form preview.
Okay. Form preview means you want to display the form values only, right?
Yes, yes.
Yes. So you have to write your own functionality into JavaScript.
Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah. Vijay, that functionality will be implemented in JavaScript. So in any website, you have seen the form validation task. So that will be implemented in JavaScript. But in HTML also, you can do that. But the error messages are going to be already defined. Like if I want to place a validation for the name that whenever we are submitting the form, the name should be required. So for that reason, I need to write this required attribute. Now, whenever you are submitting the form, your browser is only going to check that if name is having some value or not. If the value is not present there, so your browser is going to show you an error message. Like I'm refreshing this. Okay, so you can see we are having this enter your name field, and I'm going to click on this sign up. So you are able to see this error message. Please fill out this field. But if you want your own message here, then you have to go with JavaScript. Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Any more questions?
Yes, sir.
Sir, could you please repeat the go back thing?
Okay. See this go back functionality right now in HTML is only the hard coded value. Why I'm saying this? We are having two HTML files, two web pages. One is this web.html and one is about.html.
About it, yes.
Right? So we are giving link for about in web and we are giving link for web in about. This is the functionality we are achieving. But in real time case, that may not be possible because to visit about page, there may be chance that someone is arriving from web.html, like someone is arriving from, let's say, contact.html, someone is arriving from service.html. There may be a case. So whenever we are writing this go back implementation, so we have to look that from which page user has arrived from onto this about page, and we have to redirect the user onto that same page. So in order to do that, we need to take the history, right? We need to read the history, right? But in our case, we will give the link of about in web. So you have an anchor tag over here. So I have written this visit about page, and this will redirect the user to about.html. And in about.html, I'm having one link that is go back, which will redirect the user to this hard coded page that is web.html. But in real time case, suppose if you are writing this logic, and suppose if someone has arrived on this about page from, let's say, contact.html, then whenever user is going to click this go back button, the user is being redirected to which page?
About
No,
Web.html.
Someone has if someone has arrived on about.html from contact page. Now someone is clicking this go back button, it will redirect to the same page.
okay. Web.html. Yes.
Right?
So how this about the HTML code came here?
Yeah. Okay. So it's just a feature of the VS code. You just have to write this exclamation, and you are having the suggestion like exclamation abbreviation. So you just press enter, and it will write your entire HTML code for you. And there are lots of tags like meta tag. We will see them later on. As of now, we are exploring some basic concepts of the HTML only.
So you have just created a file named as about.html only, right?
Yes, I have created a file about.html, and inside that HTML page, I have written this exclamation and just press enter. You were done with it.
Sir, what is the doc type?
We will see them. We will see it one by one. We are going to see that later.
Hello, sir.
Yes.
Sir, we can use the plain button as a reset button or as a submit button as well, right?
Yes, you can use that button also, but you have to write the reset logic. You have to write the submit logic by your own.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Sir, in the same page, can we use multiple forms?
Yes, you can use multiple forms.
And we can redirect our one form to another form.
Yes,
like
you can
using
also do that.
like using previous and next buttons.
Yes, you can do this also. But whenever you are redirecting onto another form, we are going to refer it as multi-page forms. Like somewhere you have might have seen that we are having suppose hundreds of fields. So instead of displaying all the fields onto the same page, so some web applications are trying to do this on multiple pages. Like first of all, you have displayed 10 fields on the first web page. Now whenever user clicks the submit button, we are redirected to page 2, which is having some more fields also. You might have seen that functionality.
Yes.
Like government form, we there are different tags like personal detail, bank detail,
Yes.
education detail. When we click next button, they go to another form like that.
Yes.
Applications.
Sir, can you show this form on the Amazon website, how this form works, form body works on Amazon website? Means we are entering the username and the password. That means we are entering input to the user, means that user input and password is a body of form.
Yes.
And when we submit that, we go directly on the server.
Yes.
Okay, okay, that's how the form works.
Yeah, that's how the form is got. In that case, if suppose if you want to implement the multi-page forms, then on the form action, you don't have to redirect the user onto the server.
Server, yes,
Just
yes.
keep the data into a local storage into the browser and just open the next page.
Okay.
And on that next page, there must be a form. Just keep that data into the local storage. And on the event of the submit button, just read the value from local storage and you can submit the data. That's the functionality of that.
Okay.
Sir, it is possible to write input tag inside select tag.
No, that is not going to work. And again, that will be a blunder, not a mistake. That will be a blunder. If you are writing input inside the select, there is nothing to do with that. Select is only meant to have a drop down for you. If you are writing input inside the select, then it will be considered as a blunder, not a mistake, right?
Sir, there's another tag for button as a button tag.
Yes, there is one more tag. Just see, in HTML, there are hundreds of tags, thousands of tags. You just can't explore all the thousands of tags. You just have to explore some minimum tags which we have to explore, right? If you guys are having this knowledge, then I can tell you that you can also use this button. And inside the form, if you are having this button tag, then by default it will become the submit button. You don't have to write type equal to submit. But inside any form, if you want to have a plain button, then you have to write this type equal to button. And for displaying the value on this button, you have to write this content in between the opening and closing of this button tag. And if you want to implement the submit button, then you don't have to write the type equal to submit, because by default, the button is going to have this button tag is going to have the type as submit if you are writing it inside a form. But still, you can write the type equal to submit or type equal to reset. Okay.
Can we add a link to this button type?
Yes, you can add any link, but why we would like to link inside a button?
That is not required. It's not required.
You can do this. Link is also a clickable component. Button
Yes,
is
yes.
also clickable. So clickable inside clickable makes no sense.
Yes, yes.
Sir, in HTML, is there any tag for space?
No, there is no tag for any space. You might have faced a problem that suppose if you are writing multiple space into your HTML code, then you might have seen that there is only one space which is applying.
Yes,
Yes,
yes.
sir, I
yes,
tried
exactly.
this yesterday.
Okay, so for that thing, you have to go with this NBSP. So this NBSP will act like a symbol. NBSP means non-breaking spaces. Okay, so whenever you want to write any symbol on your web page, let's say if you want to write that a copyright symbol. So how you are going to copyright symbol? How are you going to write that? Are you going to create a circle and inside that circle it's not possible to write a circle? How you are going to write the circle using your keyboard? So to display that, we are having one more symbol, that is and copy and just write semicolon. So it is going to display your symbol. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Sir, if we want to any logo to act like a button, so how it's possible?
Yeah. So you just have to go with this img tag, and you can put this img tag into the anchor tag so that your image becomes clickable. Like I'm going with this anchor tag, and inside this anchor tag, we are just writing, since we are writing this text as visit YouTube or visit any web page, instead of writing this text, just place your img tag so that your so that your image becomes clickable. So whenever any image is clicked, it is going to execute your HREF.
Okay, sir.
How to set size for image?
We have seen in the last session only, we can use this width and height. What kind of size are you asking about the size in bytes or a size in dimensions.
Height and length.
Yeah, these are the width and height properties which we have seen in last class also. You can give width and height.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah. Okay, so this is how the form is going to work. So inside a form, we are going to deal mostly with the submit button. And whenever user clicks the submit button, we know that form's action is going to be submitted. Okay, so all of you understood this form functionality?
Yes, sir.
Okay, great.
Yes, sir.
Sir, can select tag be placeholder?
No, we can't write a placeholder for the select tag, but if you want to place any description for it, that please select your qualification or please select your graduation. So for that purpose, in HTML, we can go with this label tag. Okay, so just write your text here that choose your qualification. So you can write any description using this label tag. Okay, now I'm just refreshing it. See, we are able to see this, choose your qualification, and user can choose any option. We can't use that placeholder in this select.
सर how can we like ऐसे कोई फॉर्म्स होते हैं जिनमें डिफॉल्ट कुछ भी नहीं होता, डिफॉल्ट वैल्यू नहीं होती, so how can we do that in here instead of showing the default option as BSC? How can we show it as null or none? Not the written text null or none, but how can we keep it as blank?
By default, every input field is kept blank if you haven't written any placeholder, and if you haven't given any value, your form field is going to be blank by default. What do you want to achieve?
That BSC comes in checkbox, sorry, select at that place.
Yeah. Okay. For the select box, you want to make validation, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So you can do this like you can have a default option like I'm writing a value like qualification. Okay, so this is the qualification here. Now you can also give the value to be which is to be submitted on the server. See, by default, whatever be the text written in between this option tag will be submitted as it is as the value of the select box. So suppose someone is selecting this BE option, so this BE option will be submitted onto the server. But you can also define your own value which is to be submitted. So this means तुमने कहावत सुनी होगी हाथी के दांत दिखाने की कुछ और खाने की कुछ और, तो हम ऐसा कर सकते हैं. So we can do this. So we can display the value BE, but instead of submitting this BE, you can submit your own value. But how? You can write this value, right? So I'm just writing their values like its value will be 1 and its value will be 2 and its value will be 3. So now whenever user is selecting BSC, the 1 will be submitted. Now whenever user clicks BE, 2 will be submitted. Now whenever user select this B tag, so 3 will be submitted. So user is going to see these options BSC, BE, B tag, but internally it will submit 1, 2 and 3. So in the same way, for the default first option, just keep its value blank. Okay, so that we can write a validation that read the value of the select box, and if that value is blank or is having length as 0, so user haven't selected any qualification yet. Okay.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Yeah.
Sir?
Yes.
Is there any difference between this label tag and paragraph tag? Because I think they are quite similar.
There is no difference as such when we are considering this label and the paragraph. This is label tag is only a semantic tag, right? In HTML, you can see there are lots of variety of tags with the similar functionality. For example, in HTML, you are having one tag that is the div tag, right? Just to have a division onto a web page. Now the same functionality can be achieved by this section tag. Now suppose if you want to display a navigation bar, right? So we can create a div, and inside that div we can write the entire HTML for our navigation bar. But we are having one more tag, that is nav. This is also going to do the same thing. This is also going to display the same thing. There will be nothing difference in the output, but there is a difference between the readability of both of them, right? There's a difference of readability. We are reading it as div and we are reading it as nav. So which is more readable? The nav tag is more readable. So these tags are known as the semantic tags. These are only meant to uh, give a better readability of your code. Like for example, on some websites, you have seen the footer, which is containing some links or some addresses of their offices, right? So we can use this div tag to make that footer onto any website. Now, instead of writing the div, we are getting one more tag in HTML, that is the footer. So now what's the difference between div and footer? Nothing. It is just giving us more readability of our web page. So these tags are just semantic tags. For one thing, you will get a lot more tags in HTML. You might find it that this tag is also doing the same thing, this also doing the same thing, but there is a difference between their readability. So div is not readable as compared to nav or as compared to footer. So nav and footer, if you are using, then you are making your code more readable. So that's why these tags are being known as or referred as the semantic tags, because they are just giving the semantic meaning to your HTML code. So in the same way, you can go with the paragraph. You can go with the span tag also, which is there in HTML, and you can also go with the label. So label is just a semantic tag, which is represent a caption in a user interface. So that's why we are using this label tag. There is nothing difference in the working of this span and the label. Okay.
So,
Yes.
sir, I want to display a percentage block and below sometime below 60, 70. So how can we do that?
Percentage block means what?
Percentage block, choose percentage, yeah, automatically वो convert हो जाता है.
Okay, right. So you need to write JavaScript for that.
The calculation part.
Yeah, you need to write JavaScript for that. Let me show you a little bit implementation of it. But as of now, you guys are not familiar with the JavaScript. Just try to look at the logic which I'm going to write. So I'm just writing the type equal to text, and I'm writing placeholder like enter, let's say marks, or enter any value. And below that, I'm going to write this BR tag. Okay, so I'm going to define one functionality that we have to take marks input, and it will automatically display the grade, matching grade. So you guys are familiar with the if else and switch case concept in Java?
Yes, sir.
So I'm
Yes,
just
sir.
going to
Yes, sir.
define functionality, right? So as of now, I'm just going to write that functionality. You might find it difficult to understand it, that what exactly is happening. Just don't look at the logic, just look at the output, what it is going to do. Okay. So I'm writing one script tag, and there is one event which we can explore. That is on key up. Like on button, we are having that event like on click. We are having this event as on key up. So this event will be executed whenever user has typed any value. So on key up, I would like to call a function of myself only, that is find grade. And below this, I will be having one, let's say one paragraph element, and I'm giving its ID as, let's say, grade. And inside JavaScript, let's define a function that is find grade. We will see this logic later on also, but for your demonstration purpose, you guys might be keen of just seeing that what how the things are going to work, right? So I'm going to tell you this. The document dot get element by ID. So you can pass your ID of you can pass ID of that field you want to take the value. Like I'm giving its ID as marks. Let's say I'm taking marks value input in the JavaScript, and let's assign it into a variable, let's say marks equal to this. And we also need to convert the string into the integer part. So just to remember the Java syntax, how you guys have done this. If you are having any integer inside a string, and if you want to take integer value from that, what you
Return
guys
type integer.
Typecast.
Typecast.
have you seen integer dot parseInt?
Yeah, parsing method.
Percent
Yes,
of
yes.
methods.
Yes.
We have to do this here also.
It's for conversion.
ParseInt marks, and just assign it into a variable like m, and just you can apply any condition. Like I'm going to write if m is let's say greater than equal to 91, and m is less than equal to 100, then we are going to display a message onto that paragraph. So document dot get element by ID, and let's say I'm giving ID as the grade that I have given above, and dot inner HTML equal to, let's say I'm writing grade A plus. Now what will be the else if condition? Let's say for example I'm greater than equal to 81, and onto that paragraph I'm going to write the grade as A. So I would like to write a message like you got A plus, and you got A, and in the same way you can create a lot more condition depending on your criteria. Now just refresh it. You are saying that we are having this enter value. Now suppose I'm writing the value that is 98. Now what will happen?
Sir, I guess percent की जगह
Yeah.
parent लिख दिया.
Yeah. I got this. Okay, so I'm just writing any value. So you can say you got A plus. Now, whenever I'm writing a value such as, for example, I'm writing the value that is 81. Why it is not working again? Yes, you got A. Okay, so this is how the JavaScript is going to work for you. Now I'm going to write 98, then you can see you got A plus. Now for this value, let's say I'm giving value 84, so you got A. Okay. This is how the things are going to work in JavaScript. But again, we will explore it later on that how things are going to work in JavaScript. Okay, so we are exploring the concept of form. So is it clear to everyone?
Sir, how to switch between form in single page?
How to switch between?
Forms, multiple forms.
Uh,
We have two forms in the page, and we want to switch between one form to another form.
Switching means what? You want to give values into form 1 and then you want to give values in form 2.
Yes.
So you can do it by yourself, by manually. You don't have to write any code for that.
What if it automatically, when the value gets fed in one form, it automatically switches to the form below it.
Yeah. So for that purpose, you need to write JavaScript. So just read the values of form 1 and then write the data into form 2. You have to do this using JavaScript. So just consider if you are having any doubt and that doubt is being related to any functionality, then by default you take an answer that it will be implemented in JavaScript only. The HTML is meant to only and only to display the content.
Sir, but we can't add any conditions in HTML, right?
Yes, we can't write condition. We have to write in HTML or sorry in JavaScript.
So the if else condition you stated,
Yes.
it's in which file?
In which file we will write that condition in JavaScript code. As I have displayed the JavaScript is being written inside the script tag. I have defined one function. So we will be writing that kind of logic for that.
Okay.
Okay. So now let's move on to the next concept, that is the HTML tables. Okay, so as of now, we are very much familiar with the concept of forms. So now let's explore that how we are going to create a table. So what exactly a table is? So a table is a collection of rows and columns, right? So suppose if we want to display any data in the form of rows and columns, so we are going to use this table, right? Suppose if you are having data of employees, if you are having data of lots of students, then how we are going to display that data? So we are going to display that data using a table, right, in the form of rows and columns. So in order to create a table on your HTML, so let me create a table for you. So I'm going to create a new HTML file, that is table.html. Okay. So now what is the basic structure of any HTML file? That is HTML tag, then we need head tag, and inside head we will write the title, and again we are having the body, and inside this body tag, let's create a table tag. So whenever you want to have a table on your screen on your browser, so you have to use this table tag. But this table tag is only going to create a box, an outer box for your table. And inside this table tag, you have to define the rows and columns, right? So how we are going to create a row into our table? So inside table tag, we will write this tr tag. So just open the tr and close this tr. So tr is representing which component of the table? The table row, right? Tr means table row. So suppose if you want to have 3 rows into your table, then you are supposed to write these 3 tr tags. Okay, so you can write these 3 tr tags into your table. Okay, so this is how a table is structured. First of all, we have to create the outer bounds of the table using this table tag. Now inside that table tag, we have to define some of the rows using tr. Now we have to create columns inside the rows. So which tag we will be getting to create a column?
AC.
TC.
TD.
This is a trap for you. Okay, so we are getting TD. So TD means table data. Okay, if you want to have a single field or a single cell into your row, then we are going to use this TD tag. So TD is going to refer to a single cell or a single column of your row. Suppose in first row, we want to have 3 columns. then we are supposed to have 3 TDs on your web page, right? So this means we are having one table. Inside that table, this is the first row, and that first row is having the 3 columns. And again, inside my second row, I'm going to have again the 3 TDs. This means first row is having 3 columns. Second row is also having the 3 columns. Okay. Now again, the last row is also going to have the 3 columns. Now it's totally on you that how many rows you want and how many columns you want. You have to decide that thing just before creating any table. Okay, so just to create any row, we have to go with tr, and inside that tr we have to go with this td tag. Okay, so how much number of columns you want, that much amount of tds you have to create. Okay, so suppose if you want to have let's say 15 columns, so you have to go with 15 tds in a single tr. And suppose someone is saying that we want to have 20 rows, then how many TRs we need?
20, sir.
20.
We need 20 TRs. Okay, so let's
Sir,
say, yes.
sorry, sir, to interrupt you. I'm from CDAC Revati. So they are telling they want a break around 10 minutes. Can you give?
Okay, okay, sure. Let's have a break of 10 minutes. So we will start post break. Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Hello, sir. Hello.
Yes.
Sir, one web page can have multiple forms in it.
One web page have multiple
Forms in it at a time.
Yes, we can have.
Okay.
And you have also seen that earlier the Facebook login page is having 2 forms. One is the about top horizontal login
Yes,
form,
yes.
and just below it there is a sign up form. We can
Yes,
have.
yes. Okay.
So for that, sir, we have to mention 2 different form tag,
Yes,
na?
yes. We have to write 2 different forms and 2 different actions will be there.
Okay.
ते ब्रेक नंतर विचारा ना.
सर
Yes.
सर हम जहाँ पे पासवर्ड टाइप कर रहे हैं उसकी कैपेसिटी होती है क्या डिफॉल्ट कुछ?
किस चीज की?
मतलब वो फील्ड में सर जो ब्लॉक बनाया हमने इंटीरियर कैपेसिटी.
Enter your capacity means किस चीज
Password,
की?
password. Length of
पासवर्ड
password.
सर पासवर्ड.
हाँ, नहीं, as such by default we are not having any uppercase limit for this. You can write any length you want, but you can limit your password by just writing the JavaScript logic, like in form validation. We can write that our password can only contain 8 to 12 characters, like not more than 12 characters, and minimum 8 characters we need. You can give that functionality in JavaScript.
Okay, sir.
All logical operation done in JavaScript only.
Exactly.
Yes.
Sir, I wanted to ask, so just like we gave URL of Google here, when we are writing all the fields, then what happens to the data, like privacy part? Does it get lost in the server, or what happens exactly with it?
Exactly. So the data will be kept on the URL while redirecting you on the Google page, and the data will be lost onto that server. Your data didn't get submitted onto that server because that server is not receiving, that Google server is not able to receive your form data, right? So that data gets lost.
There's no point of our data being misused here, right?
Yes, yes.
And so, are we going to study more about phishing websites and all in like?
No. There is nothing like that in your curriculum.
Okay, okay, sir. Thank you.
Hacker.
I think sir left the meeting.
Oh,
Yogesh host. Yogesh host.
uh,
Yogesh is recording.
Hello, Revati ma'am.
Give
Hello.
give the host to Surya ma'am.
Hello, Revati ma'am is there?
Surya ma'am is there.
अच्छा लग रहा है एंजल.
अच्छा.
ब्रेकचा टाइम फिक्स आहे का?
मला काही पण म्हण, मला जगदीशचा आवाज खूप आवडतो यार.
घ्या राव आमचीच आता.
नाही रे, शपथ केवढा भारी आवाज आहे. माझा आवाज ऐकला
11 o'clock का कर लो आप लोग.
माझी रेकॉर्डिंग मीच ऐकलं असं वाटतं प्रत्येकाला सॉरी म्हणावं. सॉरी यार. एवढा घाणेरडा आवाज आहे तुझा एकदम.
रात्री झोपेतूनच आवाज ऐकायला
Yogesh, Yogesh.
Yogesh is on the
Good morning,
break.
ma'am.
Good morning.
Good morning, ma'am.
Yogesh, you
Good
are the
morning, ma'am.
host now. Can you make me the host? Yogesh.
Hopefully he know how to make you host.
Hello, ma'am. Yogesh Padwal. So welcome, guys, after the break.
Okay.
Welcome, sir.
Okay, so are you guys able to see my screen?
Yes, sir. Yes.
Okay, great.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so we are just exploring that how we are going to create a table. So we are having that table tag that will define outer structure of any table. And inside that table, we are supposed to create rows, and to have any row, we will use this TR tag, and inside this TR, we will have this TD tag, right? Okay, so this is how we are going to create the layout of any table. Okay, so let's suppose that we want to display the data of students. So for that reason, just consider a fact that we want to display the roll number, we want to display the name and phone number and marks. Let me write these values for you. What we want to display, we want to display ID, name, phone number, and the value of marks that he or she might have got. Okay, so how many columns we need here?
4.
Yes, every row should have these 4 columns. So we have to add one more extra column, that is one TD. And this first row is going to contain some heading labels like ID, name, and then phone and marks. Like I'm going to write this heading as ID, then name, and then phone number, and then marks. So our first row is representing what kind of thing? So our first row is representing just heading. Okay, and the second, third, and the rest of the rows will contain the data of ID, name, phone, and marks. Okay, so in the second row, we are having this first TD that would be displaying which value? Can you please answer it?
ID only.
Yes, it will display the value of ID. Let's say ID is 101. And in the second TD, we will write the value of name. Let's say I'm giving value as, for example, Suresh. And we have to write this phone number value like +91. I'm writing this a random phone number value. And we need one more TD that will be displaying the data of the marks. And in the same way, let's create a third row which will display the data of another student like ID 102. And let's say we are going to write the name as, for example, Ramesh. And let's say his phone number is 777. And in the last TD, let's display the value of marks, let's say 93. So in total, we are having 3 rows, and the first row is just for the heading purpose, and actually the data is being contained by these two TR tags, which are below the heading TR. Okay, so just have a look at this table, that how it is going to display onto your web page. So we are having this separate file, that is table.html. Let's open it. Okay, so you guys are able to see this data into the rows and column manner, but we are not able to find out, or we are not able to see the borders of this table. That's because by default this table width is 0. In HTML, by default the table width is 0. So we have to define the border width, right? So in order to define the width of the border, we will use this border attribute. Okay, so I'm writing this border attribute as 1. So it will give the border width as 1 pixel. So by default, this border is kept as 0. So that's why we are not able to see any dimensions or any borders on this table. So as of now, we are just having this border width as 1. This means 1 pixel. So you guys are able to see that we are having this table which is being displayed on the web browser. Okay. Now all of you guys have understood this, how to create a table.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So now let's explore some more attributes which we can apply on the table tag. So one attribute is the cell padding. So cell padding means what? Cell padding is the internal spaces of any cell. So you are seeing that in which the 101, in which the Suresh is written, we are having this cell. Okay. So if you want to increase the spaces inside a cell, we are going to use this cell padding property. So let me write this description of cell padding for you. So what is the exact purpose of cell padding? So cell padding is representing the internal spaces of any cell. Okay, so it is just representing the internal spaces of any cell. So let's say I want to increase the internal spaces. So I have written the cell padding, and let's give it a value, for example, 10. So you guys will be able to see that the internal spaces of all the cells are being increased uniformly. Okay. So this is how the cell padding is going to work. Now one more property is there, that is the cell spacing. One is the cell padding and one is cell spacing. So cell padding is representing what? The cell padding is the internal spaces. And now what would be the meaning of this cell spacing? Any
Spaces
guess?
spaces between cell.
Yes, spaces between the cell, right? Spaces between the cell. So you can see that there is a small space between two cells, right? So you will be able to see this small amount of space between these two cells. So you can adjust that space by using this cell spacing. So let's say I'm giving its value like 6. So it will apply the 6 pixels space between two cells. Now we can also decrease the spaces to 0. By default, only 1 pixel space will be given, and we can write the cell spacing as 0. So you can see that all the spaces between the cells has been removed. Okay. So all of you understood the cell padding and cell spacing?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Can you please repeat that cell padding once again? Padding.
Okay. Suppose if I haven't implemented that cell padding and cell spacing, this is the default view of your table. Now you can see all the cells are more congested. There is more space in between your cell. right? And inside your cell, there is no lot more space. Now, suppose if we want to increase the size of cell, so you might try to increase, uh, let's say, width and height of a cell by just applying the spaces inside the cell. So for that reason, we will use this property, that is cell padding. So cell padding means internal spaces of any cell. Like I'm writing the value as 10. So cell padding means what? Cell internal spaces. So you
Both
are able to see that the size of each cell has been increased. So this means spaces inside the cells are being increased.
both length and width.
Yes. So in all the direction, it is applying the spaces inside the cell, right?
Okay, got it, sir. Now.
It apply 4 direction, left, right, up, down.
By using this cell padding property, it will apply this space uniformly. But suppose if you want to apply only space in left, or space only in right, or let's say top or bottom, then you have to go with CSS.
Okay.
Yeah.
Another
Sir,
thing
can we
also,
change font size inside the table?
Again, for font size, we will use CSS.
okay, sir, I
Okay,
saw that attribute, the name color. So can we apply color to the borders of the table?
Yes, you can apply, but it will be considered a bad practice if you are doing it inside HTML, because you are mixing up both the things, structuring code and styling code. You are mixing both the things. You can do this in HTML, but recommended way of doing this is using CSS.
Okay.
Okay.
So also making text bold and italic also best practice in
Yes, yes, we can make it using HTML, but it's recommended to use CSS for it, just to have a separation between the styling code and our structuring code. Okay, shall we
Okay.
proceed?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so we are having one more property, that is cell spacing. So I would like to give cell spacing value like 0, so that we are not having some spaces in between the cells. Okay, one more thing we want to improve, that is the first row is containing some headings like ID, name, phone, and marks. So don't you think headings must have to be bold?
Yes, yes.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So
Yes, sir.
you can do that thing in CSS also, but your HTML is going to give uh, one more way to write any table data. So instead of using this TD tag, what we are going to use is, that is TH tag. Okay. So TH means table head. Okay. So this TH, so what will be the difference between TD and TH? So TD is going to display a normal plain text, but TH is going to display a bolder text. As compared to your TD, it is going to display a bolder text, so that your headings are being differentiated. Right. So now you can see these headings are being differentiated. Okay. But again, we can do the same thing in CSS also. Okay.
We can use header in this TD.
Which header?
H1 or H2. In line number 6, if we write TD there and inside that TD we write H1 header.
Yes, 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 yes. You can also use that.
Okay.
But
Sir,
instead
if
of
there are
writing, yes, yes, what you are asking?
sir, if there are 100 IDs, then we have to type it 100 times, or is there any shortcut way?
No, there is no shortcut, because only you are knowing that IDs.
Okay, sir.
Yes. But in any real-time
Sir,
application,
but we can use JavaScript to add loop and all,
I'm
right?
going to say the same thing. But in
Yes.
any real-time application, we are not supposed to write the hard-coded data. We will fetch that data from any server, and by using JavaScript, we will display that table.
Okay, sir.
Yeah.
Sir, can we use input tag inside table?
Yes, definitely. You can use any tag inside the table, any HTML tag.
Okay.
Sir, when you said that we are supposed to fetch the data from a server, so when we are designing a web page on a real-time basis, then we are using HTML for as a structure only. We won't be feeding any values in it, right?
Yes,
You
exactly.
are demonstrating all these things for us only, right?
Yes,
Like,
I'm only demonstrating you just to have syntax knowledge of table tag, how we are going to create a table, how we are going to create rows inside it. But in real time case, we are going to do the same thing using some dynamic JavaScript code.
okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Yeah. Okay. Whenever you are going to create any table, we are having some semantic tags. Okay. And those semantic tags are first of all, we are having this tag that is t head, and one is that is t body. There is nothing to do with the output. There is no change in output if you are going to use t head and t body. These are just the semantic tags which will make your tables code more readable, a little bit more processable. How we are going to use this t head and t body? Our table will be consisting of two sections. Say one section is going to contain only the headings, and one section will be there which is representing the actual data of the table. So the section which is holding the actual data of the table is being referred as a body, and the section which is representing the headings is being represented as the header of the table. Okay, so in order to differentiate both of these things, we will use these semantic tags, because it may be possible that on any table we want to apply some different kind of CSS. Like suppose for the headings, for the heading row, I want to give a background like blue background color onto this first heading row, and white onto this data, onto this table body. So how it can be implemented more easily? So if you are writing your heading inside t head, and if you are placing your data in the t body, then you can process the t head and t body separately. Okay, so we are just using this t head and t body just to have the semantic meaning into our table tag, and so that we can process our table head separately, and we can process our t body separately either in CSS or in JavaScript. Okay, so which tr we need to place in t head?
The heading one, th, yes.
This
That
complete tr will be
Yes,
placed
yes.
inside
First
the
one.
yes.
First row.
And all of the remaining rows which are holding the data are to be placed in t body. So t body will contain the table data, and t head will contain the heading row. So we are just giving a semantic meaning to our table. Now, when we are going to refresh this web page, you will not be able to see any changes, because these are just a semantic meaning to our table. Okay. Okay, so all of you understood this?
Yes, sir.
Okay, great.
Yes, sir. Yes.
Sir,
Hmm?
can you just repeat the border?
Which thing?
Border.
Yeah. If you are not applying border, then by default border width will be assumed as 0. So you are not be able to find any borders onto your table. So now if you want borders to be displayed, then you have to go with this border attribute, and you can give any size of your choice. If you want to have a border width of 1 pixel, then you can write 1. If you are able to, suppose if you want to display 5 pixel, then you can write it as 5. So it will display the border width. Got it?
Okay, sir.
Sir, hello. Hello, sir. Can we bring Excel document to in table format by HTML?
No, not only by HTML. You have to write JavaScript.
Okay.
Yeah, you have to do file handling kind of thing. Have you explored file handling in Java programming?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Yes, sir. Yes.
So the same principle you can apply in JavaScript also. You have to read a file, you have to read an Excel file, and you have to write the content into the HTML table.
Okay.
Sir, what we written in T head?
What we written in?
What we have written in T head? So does it require to TH?
No. There is no such rule that if you are having T head, you have to write TH only. It's just a semantic meaning to your first row. That we are having this first row for the table head. This is the header row of your table. If you don't write this T head, there is nothing going to be changed in your output. Output is going to be the same. Yep.
Okay.
But when we apply some changes to the T head through JavaScript, then will be more easier to do that.
Yes,
right?
exactly. Now suppose, let me show you one table. Let me show you one image. Yeah, this one. So you can create this entire table with the help of CSS, right? So the basic structure is being created by whom? CSS or HTML?
HTML.
You can make this, you can make your own table look like this by using which technology?
CSS.
Yes, by using CSS. So you can clearly see that T head is slightly different from the T body. So if you are giving the semantic meaning, so your table become more easy to be processed in CSS, also in JavaScript. Yep. So is it clear to everyone?
That's when
Yes,
T
sir.
head
Yes.
and T body
Yes.
is not sir.
Uh-huh.
T head and T body nothing do for HTML, but after we use for CSS, then we record for here for declare here.
Yes, that's the one case. But why we are giving T head and T body, our first requirement is to just have a semantic separation between our header row and the table data. So these are just semantic tags inside your table so that we can process header separately and we can process the table data separately. Okay.
Okay, sir.
So this is the table for you. So now let's move further and let's explore some more concepts in HTML. Like we are getting one more concept of lists. According to you, what will be a list?
Collection of data.
Collection of data, objects. Yes.
We can say collection of data, or we can say series of items is a list. Okay, so in HTML you can display some series of items using this list component. So in HTML we are having two types of list. So one is ordered list and another will be unordered list. Ordered list and unordered list will be there. So according to its name, ordered list. So what would be the concept here?
Sorted,
This
sir.
ordered list?
Sorted.
Yes, it is going to persist the order of all the items which is going to be displayed onto your web page. So inside any ordered list, suppose if you are displaying the list of cities and suppose if you are displaying the list of qualifications. So for that reason, if you want labels to follow some sequence, like if suppose I'm having some list of cities like Mumbai, like one city I want that is Delhi, and one city I want that is Bhopal, one is Nagpur. So these are the some cities which I want to display onto my web page. And if suppose we want the sequence, like 1 for Mumbai, 2 for Delhi, 3 for Bhopal, and 4 for Nagpur, then we have to go with this ordered list, because in ordered list, all the items that are going to be displayed are going to contain some label, and that label will follow some sequence, either of numeric sequence, either they follow some alphabetic sequence, there may be any kind of sequence. So in order to create any ordered list, so whenever we want to create any ordered list, then we have to go with the OL tag. So I'm creating a new HTML file. Let me save it as list.html. Okay, so whenever you want to create any ordered list, so you will get a tag that is OL. So OL is representing ordered list. O for ordered, L for list. And inside this OL tag, we have to define the list items. So for a single list item, we have to create this LI tag. So this LI will represent list item. So if suppose you want to display 4 items, then we are supposed to create 4 li tags. So I'm creating these 4 li tags in OL tag. So OL is for ordered list and LI is for list item. Now I want to display the name of 4 cities. So I'm writing the name as Mumbai, Delhi. Let's say one city I'm writing that is Chennai, and one city is let's say I'm writing that is Bhopal. Okay, so these are the few cities which I want to display as a list. So which list we are using? We are using this ordered list. Now just have a look at the output. What is going to be displayed? Okay, so you can see all the cities has been displayed inside the list, and this list is going to have some labels, and these labels are following a sequence like 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay, so this is a kind of list which you can display using this OL tag. Okay, so is it clear to all of you?
So what if we want to what if we want to display them by alphabetical order?
Yes, I'm coming to that. Now, if you want to change the sequence type, then you have to go with this type attribute. So by default, the type is considered as 1. So if you want to have numeric sequence, then the type 1 is going to work. Now, suppose if you want to have alphabetic sequence, then you have to go with the type equal to A. So for this type equal to A, your sequence is going to follow this alphabets A, B, C, and D. Now suppose if you are writing this type equal to capital A, now what will going to happen?
Capital letters.
Capital A and capital B like that.
Yeah, exactly. We will be having this capital alphabet sequence.
But if we don't want that type thing in it, and we want to arrange them by, the alphabetical order of Mumbai, Delhi, and Chennai, Bhopal like that.
JavaScript.
Yes, my dear, you have to go with JavaScript.
Any logic in JavaScript.
Yes. If you are thinking of any logic, then JavaScript is the only option. Okay. So
I
now
have understood it.
Yes.
So now suppose if I'm writing the type as small I, then what will happen?
Order from I.
From the I.
It will
Sequence
start
will
from
start from
I.
I.
Roman.
All of you are
Roman,
intelligent.
I, Roman.
People give Roman numbers.
That's the I double I. That's the I. What I said. I double
Now
I.
suppose if I'm writing capital I, now what will happen?
Capital
Roman.
Capital
Also Roman.
Capital Roman numbers
Roman.
is V1.
Capital Roman
sequence.
number could be there. Okay.
Yes.
So this is the sequence we will get.
Sir, ordering is done only for the tags.
Yes,
In
yes,
this
what?
case, the ordering of the list is only done for the tags only. No? not
Yes.
for the values.
See, by default, it is going to maintain the order of insertion. In which order you have created the ally, the same order you will get to see on the screen.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's the array list.
Hmm. So now suppose if I'm writing type as small b, now what will happen?
Bold.
From B to
From
C,
B.
D, E.
Is it going to start from B?
I think so.
Yes, yes.
No.
It's
No. Fault.
Only few values are allowed in the type, and those few value I'm writing here for you. So this ordered list supports this type attribute, and the type attribute supports value like 1, small a, capital A, small I, and capital I. And if you
We
are
enter
writing, if you are
any
writing
other
a type other than these values, then by default it will consider 1. Okay. If you are writing suppose let's say B, and if you're writing suppose the type equal to 8, or if you're writing type equal to H, then in that case by default it is going to start from 1 only. Okay, is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Now, but what if we want to start exactly from B or exactly from C? So for that reason, just keep your type as a valid value, whatever it may be, small I, small a, capital A, or 1. And you can define the starting position. So there is one attribute that is start, which is used to give, or which is used to define the starting position of the sequence. Okay, so let's say I want to start from the alphabet C. So what we will write in start?
Now C, D.
Now we can write C in start.
C.
No, we have to write the position. What I'm trying to say
Like
is
index.
we have to write a position, at from which position we have to start the sequence. So whatever be the type is, the start value is always going to be an integer, and that value is going to represent the starting position of the sequence. Now the type is A and start is 3. This means sequence would be of alphabets, and from which position alphabet will start display, that is the sequence of 3. Okay, this means from the third position of alphabet the sequence is going to be displayed, that is right starting from C. Okay,
Sir, what if we write there 25? The sequence will be
see, it is going to repeat like A B A C. It will make some
okay.
combinations like this.
Okay, double. Okay.
But how this HTML is working? It's just a layer on your web browser. HTML is just a layer on your web browser.
Yes.
Internally, my dear, JavaScript is working on it. Okay. HTML is just only to make the life of developer look simple. But
we are making sandwich there.
Exactly.
JavaScript, then HTML, then JavaScript, then CSS.
Exactly. All of the things are controlled inside a web page by JavaScript only. We are just instructing our browser that just please create a ordered list and start its type here. You can see there is no magic happens in IT industry. Nothing is happening by their own. There is always a logic behind it. So we are writing type equal to A. This means someone is reading its value. We are writing start equal to 25. This means someone is reading its value, and there is some logic implemented low inside the low level, and that low level logic is written in JavaScript. Okay, so behind any HTML there is a JavaScript. Okay, आप ऐसा समझ सकते हो JavaScript आत्मा है, ये बस HTML दिखने का है, अंदर आत्मा JavaScript है.
Soul.
Body and soul.
Okay. Okay, so this is the ordered list we can have into any web page. Now let's move on to next type of list, that is unordered list. So what would be the unordered list?
A random place.
Yes. So an unordered list, just listen it carefully. If you are having ordered list or any unordered list, the sequence of items, the order of items are going to follow the order of insertion. Okay, but what exactly is the difference between ordered and unordered? If you are using this unordered list, then you will be getting some sequence in the labels, like sequence of numeric values or the alphabet values. But if you are going with unordered list, so in that case you won't be getting any sequence on labels. So instead of having numbers or instead of having alphabets, you will able to see some symbols. Okay, so inside the unordered list, there is no sequence of alphabets, there is no some sequence of the numeric values. There will be some symbols which will be displayed as a label. So let me show you that how we are going to create unordered list. So what will be the tag name for unordered list?
UL.
Yes, UL. So I'm displaying the same list using this UL tag. Now just have a look onto the output. Okay, so you can see we are having symbols, but it has maintained the order of insertion. So order of insertion is going to be the same, but only the labels are going to be changed. In ordered list, we are able to see the sequence of alphabets or any numeric value, but in unordered list, we will able to see some symbols. Now we can change the symbols. How we are going to change the symbol as
Sir,
the sequence?
sorry to interrupt. Can we change the sequence accordingly, like ascending or descending?
I have told already, for ascending or descending, you have to write some logic of sorting. Yes or no?
It's JavaScript.
Yes, again JavaScript. Because HTML is not meant to write any logic kind of thing. You have to write JavaScript for that. But how we are going to write that JavaScript? In JavaScript, you have to create an array and you have to sort that array, and that array element should be displayed as a list item.
List.
So it's not possible in HTML, right?
Yeah, it is not possible in HTML.
We can do
The role of HTML is just to display the data. How can your HTML decide that which order we want? Okay.
Sir,
Uh-huh.
what if is it like I hope so it's not a stupid question. What if we directly insert a dot or asterisk in the type in order list instead of a? What if we insert
Then you
dot?
have, if you want order like *1, *2, something like this.
No, sir. Straightforward start. Like in
So
the.
you have to go with the unordered list.
Okay, sir. Okay.
Yeah.
type is equal to star.
So now let's explore that what types we can use. So UL also supports this type attribute. So by default, the value is disk. So by default, UL type is disk. You can change its value to circle. Now suppose if I'm writing a type as circle. So now you can see we are having hollow circles over there. Now you suppose instead of a circle, if I'm writing square. Now what will happen?
Square symbol.
Yes, we are getting the square symbol. So by default value is disk. You can write circle and you can give its value as square also. Okay. Now if suppose I'm writing a value as triangle, what will happen?
It is present in the data. It will show, or we don't know.
Triangular.
It's
No,
not
but-
going to work.
Yes,
Just don't
yes.
think that any shape you're writing, it is going to display.
It should be
Suppose you are
predefined.
writing Shaktiman, it is going to display Shaktiman. It's not going to happen. So these are the only three values which are supported by UL. You can write circle, you can write disk, and you can write square.
Okay, if you
Let's
write
suppose someone is going
Spelling
to
of circle.
display some flower. Suppose someone is going to display any value, any star. So for that, we have to go with CSS. Okay. So CSS can customize the look of it.
Sir, spelling of circle.
Yeah. What a great thing you have told me. मेरा दिन बन गया ये सुन के.
Sorry, sir.
So these are the possible values for this unordered list. Why is it closing again and again? Okay, so all of you understood this concept?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes.
yes, sir.
Okay, so as of now, we are very much familiar with HTML, that how we are going to display headings, paragraphs, forms, tables, and lists. So now it's time to explore some concepts about this CSS. Okay, then along with CSS, we will implement some HTML concepts also, so that we will be able to write so we will be able to display some attractive web pages. Okay, so shall we start with CSS?
Yes, you can take a
Yes.
beauty parlor.
Yes.
Okay, okay. Just moving to the CSS, let's see one more thing, that how we are going to display videos onto our web page. So let me create let me open that web.html. So you guys have might have seen that some websites are displaying videos onto their
Advertise.
screen, right?
Advertisement, yes.
Advertise.
Exactly. So how we're going to display any video onto our own web page? So we will get a video tag for that, and inside this video tag, we are getting one source tag, right? So inside this source tag, what we need to define?
Video,
The
video file.
The source
Relative
path,
relative path.
file path of that video. So inside this source tag, we are having this attribute that is src, which will contain the path of your video. Let me check if I'm having some videos or not.
Can you provide some online video?
Yeah, you can give. You can also display some YouTube video also. Let me show you.
Which link?
how we are
Can
going-
we taste full movie?
Piracy लग जाएगी.
Is it working or not?
If you have that much time, then you can paste it.
What if only 1.5 hours is running?
Which movie do you want?
Let's say I want to show this video Motu Patlu onto my web page.
with samosa.
Yes, sir. Yeah.
With this ad.
Annoying ads.
They are also using this.
So what if you want to display this this YouTube video onto this web.html? So
Copy.
in order to
Copy
do
that.
that, just right click, and you are getting
Copy
one
of-
option, copy embed code. Just copy this thing and paste it onto your web page. Then it is not going to give you video tag. Okay, this is going to give some different kind of element, that is iframe. So you can see we are having this iframe tag. So what's the use of this iframe tag? So this iframe tag is used to display. I must write the point for this iframe. So it is used to display the content of another page into our page. Okay, so it's the use of iframe. So using iframe, you can display the data of some another web page into your own web page. Suppose if you want to display the Instagram into your web application, you can go with this iframe. Suppose you are having one another web page like about.html, so you can display that about.html's content into your own web page using this iframe. Okay, so that video is being displayed by the YouTube. So we have to display the content of YouTube into our own page. So this is done with the help of the iframe.
Copyright issue will happen now, sir.
Sir, we don't require to download that video on our system.
Yes, you don't have to download that video because we are not attaching a local video. We are just displaying that YouTube's section inside our web page. So if any user is visiting our website, then he or she must be having internet connectivity. Then they will be able to view this YouTube video also on our web page. So let me refresh it. This is the web.html on which we are having the video. Let me zoom out of this. Yeah. So you can see we are having the link of this YouTube video. Now you can directly play this video. Okay.
Without ad.
Yes.
Without ad.
And you can also adjust its size also. You are getting this properties like width and height. Okay. So all of you understood this iframe?
And sir, if you want
Yes,
to
sir.
add the video from our system.
Yeah, I'm going to show it.
Sir, if we are taking YouTube content, then is there any danger of copyright issue?
We are not copying or downloading it and showing it.
Yes,
We are
exactly.
directly showing the link of YouTube.
We are just giving a link. We are not downloading video and we are just
Uploading
saying
from
that
our
this is
Actually-
our own original video.
Publishing is not allowed.
Yeah. We are
Excuse me,
just
sir.
giving a reference.
If we use iframe, then the size of the video will automatically get set.
No, the size of video, we are not adjusting the size of video. We will be adjusting the size of that iframe section onto our web page, right? Suppose I'm writing the dimensions as let's say 500 by 500. Now you can see the iframe size is going to be changed. The section is going to be changed, and still you can play the video and you can visit the full screen. Okay, so this is going to be the working of this width and height. It is going to change the dimension of your whole iframe container so that video will be adjusted onto the same dimension. But whenever you are going to the full screen mode, then it is going to be the original dimension video.
Okay, sir.
Yeah.
Sir, now
Sir, could you
introduce
please show that iframe part?
Yes, what?
Iframe part. Right.
Iframe part what?
Line number 12.
complete line. He want to copy that line.
Yeah. This is the iframe. And this iframe is containing width, height, SRC attribute. This is the title attribute. So these are all the attributes which you can pass into your iframe.
Sir, how you inserted this iframe tags in this HTML? Is there any default?
No, I haven't written that iframe by myself. I just opened that video and I have right clicked on it and I have one option that is copy embed code.
Yes.
So now just click on this. Iframe is being copied onto a clipboard and you can paste it over it.
Okay. Directly copied it.
Yeah. So this is the same way you can display any Google Map link onto your web page. You might have seen that if you're visiting any hotel's website or any school's website or any restaurant's website, instead of writing their address hard-coded value, they are just displaying the Google Map. Have you seen that?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So let's do that thing. Let's say I want to give the address of let's say Taj Hotel in Mumbai. So I would like to search Google Map for that. So let's search for Google Maps. So I'm just writing Taj Hotel. Any random location I'm searching for. That's not the actual Mumbai's Taj Hotel. This is just a random. That's the first copy of that Taj Hotel. Okay, so I want to display this address onto my web page. So what we have to do for that, just go on this share option. You are having this option on a second tab, that is embed a map. So just select this. Then again, you guys will be able to see the name of the tag as iframe. So the what is the role of iframe? Just to display the content of a web page into your own web page. Or also you can adjust its size, like you can also define your custom size, or you can also define the small kind of iframe. But what exactly it will be doing internally, it is just as adjusting its width and height. Okay, so you just have to copy its entire HTML and just paste it onto your web page. Okay, so now let's just refresh our page, and you guys will be able to see that Google Maps onto your web page. So this is the iframe tag. So using that iframe tag, you can display the content of another web page into your web page also. Okay, so is it clear to everyone?
Sir, can we show the online video by URL using video tag?
No.
No, we need to download that.
Video tags role is to display the local videos on your systems only.
Okay, okay, sir.
Yeah. So now let's see that how we are going to display a local video. Let me check if I'm having some videos in my system or not. Yes, I'm having one recording kind of thing. Yes. Yes, I'm having one video. I'm just taking that video into my folder, and I'm just creating a new folder like videos. Okay, and I'm just writing here, and let's just rename so that the name becomes easier to write into our program. So I'm naming this file as recording.mp4. Okay, so this is the video which I want to display on my web.html. So this is a local video which we want to display. So whenever we want to display any local video, we have to go with this tag, that is video tag. So just open and close the video tag. And inside this video tag, we have to create a tag, that is source. And just see the source tag is an empty tag. We haven't closed this tag yet. So inside this source, we have to write this src attribute. And in this src, what path we need to give?
Relative.
Yes, relative
part of the file.
And what will be the relative path? We'll have to write videos / recording.mp4. So we need to write the name of folder like videos / recording.mp4. I haven't given any dimensions yet, but one more attribute is there for the source, that is type. So inside the type attribute, we have to mention that what kind of the file we are linking in the source tag. So that file belongs to some video type of content, and that file is having extension of mp4. So you have to write this type as video / mp4. Now suppose if you are using that avi extension, so you have to write video / avi. Okay, so this is the way you have to define the type. So video / mp4, its content is video and the file extension is mp4.
If you do not define any type here, so
few browser are going to display it, few are going to not display it.
Support matter, right?
Yeah.
No, behind the video dash slash, yeah. After type, video, and then nothing to be written here, and then slash. Yeah. Is it?
You are writing only video.
Yes.
No, this is not going to work then. You have to if this is going to work when suppose if you haven't written any type, then this will be considered okay. But if you are writing any type, then you have to follow that format, video slash then extension.
So is it converting like we are uploading here .mp4 file, but we are specifying that file as an AVI. So is it converting to AVI or something else?
No. You can't do that. If your video is .mp4 extension and you are writing here AVI, that's incorrect.
Yes.
You can't do this.
Sir, what if our video is in some another drive?
So then you have to give absolute path for that.
Path for that.
But that's not the recommended way. You have to take your video in the same location of your HTML.
Reading of the folder videos, is it a functionality of VS Code or HTML?
Reading that folder means I'm getting the
suggestion
recommendation, right?
Yes, yes.
I'm getting the suggestion. It's the functionality of this VS Code only. Okay, so videos slash recording.mp. Okay, so now let's refresh it. Okay, so you guys are able to see only the black screen just because we have this video tag and we haven't enabled the controls to be displayed. So by default, all the video controls are disabled by your browser. Okay, so in order to display the video controls like full screen option, like one for the play and pause option, one for the slider for volume, one slider for the duration of that video, you have to write one attribute that is controls. So by writing controls, you are enabling the controls of the video. Like I'm again refreshing it. So now you guys are able to see the controls, right? One is for play and pause, one is for the volume, and one is for the full screen, and one is for this. Okay. So now when I click this play button, so this is going to start your video. Okay, so you can see the video has been started, and you can also pause this video, and you can also go in so you can also slide this duration. You can also go in the full screen mode, and you can also adjust the width and height of this video. Okay, so all of you guys have understood this concept?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes.
So in the same way, we can also display some audio. Have you seen any audio?
No, sir. We are just hearing it.
Yes, sir. So on any music streaming application, there would have seen some controls to play any audio. Yes or no?
Yes.
Yes. So
Yes, sir. Yes.
big.
Like Geo7, there's a banner
Exactly.
something.
Yes, exactly. So you can play some audio also into your web application, and you can also display some controls to play any audio file. So how we are going to make it possible? So for that purpose, we are going to use this audio tag. And in the same way, inside the audio, we are going to write the source tag. And from the source tag, we are going to write the path of our MP3 or any song file. And we are going to write the type of that MP3 file. So let me check if I'm having some MP3 file or not. I must have some MP3 file. I must be having some songs. Okay, so let's say I'm having this song. Let's copy this MP3 file and take it into your project directory. And for MP3 files also, I'm going to create a folder like music or songs or any name you want to give. And I'm pasting the song here, and just rename it to, let's say, my song.mp3. Okay, so I would like to give this give this song as an output of my application. So this means I want to display the controls to play this song. What would be the controls of this audio control? So we
Play,
can pause.
pause,
Yes, we can
play,
play or
pause,
pause
or
the audio.
previous, next.
We can increase
Save.
the video, right? Oh, sorry, we can increase the volume of this audio, right? So let's define the SRC. So SRC would be like music slash my song dot mp3, and what we can write inside the type.
Music.mp3.
Audio.
Oh, we have to write audio, and audio slash mp3 would be the type. Now I have just implemented this audio tag. I haven't written the controls yet.
Let's see.
So now you can see there is no such controls visible on your web browser. As of now, this video is occupying lot much space. I am just commenting it. Okay. So as of now, you can see there are no controls which are being displayed for this audio. So what we can do is, in the same way, you can write the controls attribute on this audio tag. So just refresh it. Now you guys are able to see the controls. Okay, so now when I click on this play button, so it is going to start your audio. It is going to play your audio. Okay, and you can also mute or increase or decrease the volume for this audio. Okay, so all of you understood this?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes.
Okay, so now we are good to go with the CSS.
Sir,
Yes.
yeah, in the syllabus it is written ARIA accessibility. What is that? ARIA
Yes,
access.
what you are asking?
So in the syllabus it's mentioned
Mhm.
ARAI.
I'm going to cover that. I'm going to
Okay.
cover that. 1 second.
हेलो विजय।
यस।
अरे वो 15 नंबर लाइन पे अगर वो टाइप जो है वीडियो का उसमें ऑडियो और MP3 भेजा तो वीडियो का बस आवाज आएगा क्या?
15 नंबर लाइन पे
वीडियो का बस आवाज नहीं आएगा।
नहीं नहीं नहीं
ये नहीं होगा वो।
नहीं मुझे लगा आवाज तो आएगा ना एटलीस्ट, नहीं वीडियो चलेगा तो।
वीडियो चलेगा भी और आवाज भी आएगा, सब कुछ होगा। ओके, सो
अपन उसको लैब में टेस्ट करेंगे।
और एक और चीज आप लोग कर सकते हो, दैट वी कैन अप्लाई एन ऑटो प्ले एट्रीब्यूट। ऑटो प्ले। नाउ इट्स योर ड्यूटी. I would like you guys to explore about few attributes for this audio and videos. One is autoplay and one is loop. By reading their name, what you are guessing about it?
Autoplay will be for
Automatically play when we visit
automatic
the
and
website.
loop.
Yeah,
If
autoplay.
it ends,
Visit
then
website,
it will
it
start.
will start automatically playing.
On the page load itself, the video start
Like ads on YouTube.
right? And what will the functionality of loop?
It will play in loop.
It will play in recurring
When
video.
the video has ended, it will start again by itself.
Yes, recurring video.
Yeah,
Can we-
recurring video.
Can we define here the value of loop?
loop.
This
No,
is
no.
not that kind of loop.
Yes, yes.
It's not follow.
Only
How
5
long
times
से मत
8
कहो कि I equal to 1, I less than.
No, no, not like that, because we are defining values of attributes
Yeah.
for the
But
customization.
by default, their values are being considered as true or false. That's why we are not writing the value. Okay. Yeah. Now just tell me, suppose if I'm not writing controls, if I have written autoplay and I have written loop, now what will happen?
It will play continuously.
Yes, audio will start at the time of page load, and user User will not going to have that option to pause or to stop that audio. Yes or no?
Blender.
Yes. If you want to interrupt your users, or if you want to scare your users, okay, so they might be wondering that from where this audio is being.
Then we'll
I
be
think
kicked
that
off.
their device will be hacked.
Yes. Play an audio. Welcome. Your device has been hacked, and just play it infinitely. Okay. Okay. So now, let's start. Let's see. Yes. So in these 2 days, we have done a lot more things. So you guys might have idea of CSS. What this CSS is going to do for us.
Yes, sir. We remember that photo.
Yes. So what is the basic purpose of CSS? Just to provide style
Makeup.
to our web
Makeup.
page. Yes.
Gaurav?
To our page. You can say that CSS is just a beauty parlor of your web page. Whatever be the styling thing you are going to create, that in a CSS. You can make your page look more attractive using this CSS concept.
Just for looks, no function.
But how we are going to write the CSS code? What will be the syntax of writing the CSS? Let's understand the CSS of syntax.
Sir,
Yes.
we can only provide looks, not functionality.
Yes, yes. We are not going to provide functionality using CSS. CSS is just only for other looks and feels. Is it clear?
Okay. Yes, sir.
Okay. So CSS is just like a beautification code which you can apply onto your web page. So how we are going to write the syntax for the CSS? Let's try to understand it. So in order to write the CSS syntax, first of all, we have to understand that where we need to place the CSS code. So let me create one HTML file, and I am naming that file as cssdemo.html. So now inside this HTML file, we are going to create some HTML tag, head tag, and one more tag will be there, that is body. Okay, so this is the basic structure of any web page. See, there are multiple ways, multiple places where we can write the CSS. We will see them one by one. So one way of writing the CSS is the inside your head tag, just open the style tag. Okay, so one way of writing the CSS is inside your head tag, just open the style tag, and only inside the style tag we are going to write the entire CSS which we want to apply on the body of any web page. So this is the one of the way in which we can write the CSS. Just open the style tag, and this style tag is going to contain the entire CSS code. So I would like to write a point here. So way to write CSS, or I should say the ways to write CSS. So one way is what? Create a style tag, and inside that style tag, place all the CSS. Okay, so this is the one way of writing the CSS, but yes, there are two more ways of writing the CSS. We will see them one by one. So first of all, we are writing the entire CSS in the style tag only. So this thing is clear to everyone?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So let's consider a fact that inside this body tag, I'm having a paragraph. And this paragraph is displaying a text like hello world. Now I want to apply some CSS onto this paragraph that by default the font will be displayed of black color. Now I want to change it to the blue color, let's say to the green or to the red color. Then we have to write some CSS for this. So now let's explore the CSS syntax. What is the syntax we need to write in CSS? So the CSS syntax is very simple. You first of all you have to write the selector. Not the selector is not a keyword. So just don't assume that we will write that selector keyword when we are writing the CSS. No, CSS syntax. So inside this syntax, we have to write this selector. So selector is just a placeholder of your tag, which on which you want to apply the CSS. So selector is going to do what? Selector is going to identify that on which tag, identify that on which HTML element we want to apply CSS. Okay, so this is the role of selector. So selector is going to identify that on which element we want to apply CSS. Like we want to apply CSS on paragraph, or we want to apply CSS on let's say form input, or CSS onto a button, or on which HTML component, on which HTML element we want to apply CSS. We have to write its name using selector. Okay, so all of you understood the selector?
Yes.
Quite a bit, yes.
So selector's role is to identify the HTML element on which you want to apply the CSS. So first of all, write the selector's name and then open the body. How we are going to open the body? By opening curly brace, and close its body by the closing curly brace. And inside the body of this selector, we have to write the name of CSS properties. In CSS, we are having lots of thousands of inbuilt properties that are already defined. Okay, that are already defined in this CSS. We just have to write the name of that CSS property, and just after the name of property, we are supposed to give its value. So this is how we are going to write the syntax for CSS, right? So first of all, we have to write the selector, and then after it, we have to write the property and then value. So this is a syntax. For example, I want to give red color to paragraph tag. Our role is to do what? Is to apply red color onto paragraph tag. So who is the selector here?
Paragraph.
Exactly. So selector is a paragraph. So I would like to write the name of selector, that is P, that is the name of our tag, and just open the body and just close the body and just write the name of CSS property that we are going to use. So we are going to use a CSS property whose name is what?
Color red.
Color.
This property is going to apply the font color. Okay, so just write the value which you want to apply. So I want to apply the red color and just put a semicolon. So this is a syntax. Okay, so all of you understood this syntax?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so we have to write this syntax into this style tag. So how is it going to work? So I'm writing the selector as P, and I'm going to write the property name as color, and I'm going to write the value as red. So this CSS is going to select all of the paragraphs on your web page, and this is going to apply red color onto my paragraph. Now
If
let's see. Yes,
there are multiple paragraphs, then
All
your
paragraphs.
voice is breaking.
there are multiple paragraphs. We are writing multiple paragraph in the web page, then red color will apply to all paragraphs.
Yes, if you are having multiple paragraphs, then this red color will be applied on all of the paragraphs. Yes, we can definitely apply different CSS properties to each paragraph. Also, we will see them one by one. First of all, we are just seeing a hello world example in CSS. Okay, then we will achieve some more functionalities also. So let me open this CSS demo.html on the browser. Okay, so you can see we are having this hello world paragraph, which is being there in red color. Now suppose if I'm having one more paragraph and I'm writing a text like this is CSS example, and I'm writing this paragraph tag, and again I'm writing some text. So this is, let's say I'm writing any dummy paragraph over here. Okay, so these three paragraphs we are having into our web page. One is hello world, one is this is CSS example, and one is this lorem ipsum. So when I'm refreshing this web page, then you are able to see that every paragraph tag is by default selected. Why this is happening? Because on the name of selector we are writing the name of tag, and it is going to select all of the paragraph tags onto your web page. Okay, is it clear?
So all CSS body will
Sir,
be
so can
written
we change the color accordingly? Like if we want hello world in blue and this is CSS
Yes.
example in any
Yes.
other color.
You can do that. We are going to see it on next step. I'm also going to do that in next step.
Okay.
Yeah. So in someone is having question, if we want to give each and every word different color, is it possible? Yes, that's also possible. You can apply your favorite pink color, your favorite red color also. How is it possible? You have to
I
write
think we have to rename.
different paragraph elements.
Yes,
You
yes.
have, or you can do one thing.
P1,
If
P2.
your paragraph is containing, let's say these words, let's say one is hello and one is world, and you want to display hello and world in different colors, then just write one span tag, and inside this span you can write this hello, and inside another span you can write this world, and you can apply one CSS onto this first span and another CSS onto the second span. This is how you can define it, but you will only be able to do this by uniquely identifying your each tag. That is something we are going to look in the next step. Okay, so all of you are familiar with the CSS syntax. So in order to give each tag a unique CSS, right? What we want to achieve is we want to give each tag a unique CSS. Like this hello world, a different CSS. This is CSS example, a different CSS. So how we are going to do that? Let's see that. So in order to achieve that, we have to first of all understand the concept of selectors. So in CSS, we are having different kinds of selectors. So let me write the heading as types of selectors. So first of all, what kind of selector we are getting? We are getting the tag selector. So what exactly is a tag selector? So whenever you are writing the CSS syntax, and on the selector, if you are writing the name of the tag, then that selector is referred as a tag selector. Okay, so you can see inside your style tag, we are writing the name of tag as a selector. So that is a tag selector. Okay, so we have seen an example of which selector, the tag selector. So what is the functionality of tag selector? It is going to select, means this tag selects all the matching tags. This means what?
All paragraph tags.
Yes, if we have written the name of tag as P, then it is going to select all the P tags. Now, if we are writing the name of tag as input, then this is going to select all the input tags. So this is the functionality of the tag selector. This is going to select all the matching tags, and it will apply the same CSS. Now, if we want to apply different CSS on different HTML elements, now we have to go with some different kind of selector. That would be the ID selector. Now suppose in any class, if the name of all the students are same, then how we are going to differentiate between them?
By their roll numbers.
Yes, by their ID, by their roll number. So in the same way, we are having three paragraph tags. all the paragraph tags are having the same name, right? You can see the name is P, again P, then again is P. So how we are going to differentiate between them? So we are going to give ID to each of the paragraph. Okay. So you can give ID to any HTML tag. This is the functionality of HTML. Okay. So you can give a unique ID to any HTML tag, whether it is your paragraph or any heading tag, any anchor tag, image tag, audio tag, video tag. It may be anything. Okay. So you can give ID to any of your HTML tag. Why? Just to uniquely identify your HTML element. So I'm going to uniquely identify this first paragraph. So I would like to give its ID like P1. Okay. So I have given this unique identification to this first paragraph. In this same way, I'm going to give a unique identification to the second paragraph and a unique identification to this third paragraph. So we are having 3 paragraphs and a unique identification for each of the paragraphs like IDP1, IDP2 and IDP3. Is it clear to all of you?
We can do any type of ID like symbols and all
You can
numbers.
give alphanumeric value.
Okay, sir.
You have to give alphanumeric value, right? So now, instead of writing the name of tag, what we are going to write?
P1.
Yes,
Value
we are
of
going to
ID.
write. But if you are writing only P1, then it will consider P1 as a tag name. Are we having any tag name with name P1?
No.
No.
So we have to consider this P1 as ID. So we have to write a hash before it. And please don't read hash as a hashtag. I have seen lots of students. Those are saying that hashtag P1,
ID.
not your Instagram.
Hash ID.
Okay. So this is hash P1. So whenever you are writing hash, so this hash is being considered as a ID, right? So you can see VS Code is suggesting that there must be an element whose ID will be P1, and only on that element the red color is going to be applied. So just let me know, is this second paragraph or the third paragraph will be displayed in red color or not?
No.
No,
Black.
it will be differentiated.
Yeah, because we are differentiating that only IDP1 will be having this red color. So now let's see that how we are going to do it. So you can see only the first paragraph is having that red color, and the rest of the paragraphs are getting the default looks and feels. Now suppose I'm going to write this, this is CSS example in green color. So for that purpose, we need to write selector as hash P2. Yes or no?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes.
So let's write the value of color as green. And in the same way, hash P3, we can give some different color. Like I'm giving a color like yellow. I'm right now I'm just giving some random red, green and yellow colors, but in any real-time application we are not going to do this. Okay, we are not going to create any user interface that is going to look somewhere in some section that will have a red color, someone is having yellow color. Okay, we are not going to do this. I'm just demonstrating you that how we are going to apply the font color on each and every paragraph. Okay, so you can see every paragraph is being displayed in different colors. So
It's
all of you
looking
got
like traffic signal.
this? By chance, luckily we are having traffic signals right now.
Right.
So just consider this fact that whenever you are working with CSS, you have to become artist. You have to think of some beautiful color combinations, like which color goes with which different color. Yes, you have to show creativity. So whenever you are going to apply some font color or some background color, उससे पहले अपने खुद पे कलर लगा के देखो, खुद पे इमेजिन करो जरा सोचो, तुमने येलो कलर की शर्ट, ग्रीन कलर की ट्राउजर पहन रखी है और पिंक कलर के जूते पहन रखे हैं।
तो कैजुअल हो जाएगा सर।
तो वो
छपरी हो
कलर
जाएगा।
कॉम्बिनेशन,
छपरी हो जाएगा।
सब मिलान
हाँ,
फैशन शो हो जाएगा।
एग्जैक्टली।
रणवीर सिंह हो जाएगा, रणवीर सिंह।
कलर कॉम्बिनेशन
छपरी।
रखने जा रहे हो ना,
नॉट
that
नॉट
must look
छपरी, इट्स रणवीर
professional.
सिंह।
Then we have to wear only skin color.
और
Sir,
फिर
here if I want to make paragraph 1 and paragraph 2 with the red color.
yes, then in that case you have to go with next kind of selector. You are seeing the
Okay.
future right now. That's very good. That is class selector. Okay, we are going to use the, in that case, a class selector. Okay. So all of you understood the concept of tag and ID selector?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir. Yes.
Okay, so let's conclude this session as time is about to over, and we will see rest of the things in next class only. But till then, please have a hands-on on these things of let's say HTML form, list, and CSS kind of things. Okay.
I want to, sir, I want to ask a thing. I downloaded yesterday Flutter.
Okay.
So can you describe just a bit of it, how we can,
As
use
of
that
now,
one? Because
you are
it is
not
in
much
trend.
aware about HTML. You are not much aware about CSS. You are not much aware about JavaScript. You are skipping that directly to Flutter.
No. Actually, I just wanted to see the, course of it, like how to.
Don't do that right now. We have to follow the sequence. First of all, just learn HTML, then CSS, then JavaScript. Then only you will be able to understand what happening inside the Flutter.
Okay.
सीधा
We'll
jump
have to.
लेके मत जाओ, खाई में
Okay.
गिर जाओगे नीचे, पहले ही बता रहा हूँ.
Okay, we are going to see that, right?
Flutter is not in your syllabus, I think so.
Yes, I've seen that. Not in
So we are not going to see it.
But it is in trending.
But once you are having the experience on React.js or in JavaScript, then you can learn it by your own.
Okay.
Okay. So Surya ma'am, are you there?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so I'm done with this session.
Yeah,
Okay?
yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah. Okay, ma'am.
Thank you, sir.
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 Thank
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
हेलो विजय
Okay.
भाई, पहले घर बांध लेते, ताजमहल बाद में बनाएंगे।
हाँ ना।
अरे नहीं, वो actually.
Hello.
See,
Okay.
Wait.
All of you, please listen. So your lab session will be at 1:30 and be prepared for taking the summary. Okay. All of you. We will
Okay,
call
ma'am.
someone. Okay. Anyone should
Okay,
take the summary. So be prepared for that.
We are prepared taking summary from you, no?
No. From I already told you that from now onwards, you have to say the summary. You are listening to the class. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Okay, ma'am.
So,
Thank you.
Okay, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.
so we can meet at 1:30. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
Okay,
ma'am.
ma'am. Thank you.
विजय चला ताजमहल बांधने, चलो बाय।
अच्छा।
आज ही बांध देंगे।
अरे नहीं, उसमें एक्चुअली